Well, hi guys, I'm Simpa Carter. I run Durham City Cannabis Club, one of the many emerging cannabis clubs here in the UK, fighting to create a social space for people who already choose to consume cannabis to do so socially, to feel welcomed into society rather than pushed away from it. As with quite a lot of other currently criminalised drugs, I've had a long, extensive history with cannabis. I started admittedly abusing drugs as a teenager as a way to deal with the trauma of my own youth. I was very severely physically, mentally and sexually abused as a youth. I was removed from mainstream education. I had the opposite of a normal upbringing. This irreparably kind of offset and damaged my life for a long period of time, and it is then through the cultivation and consumption of certain strains of cannabis, the utilisation of other currently criminalised substances, that my life has changed. It's gone from being constantly self-harming, in and out of hospital, in psychiatric care for 20 plus years, to now being self-sufficient, able to, and proficient to be able to then travel the world, frankly, to be able to write for various outlets, speak my truth, get onto stages, speak in front of cameras. Cannabis has given me my life back, when at a time for 15 years of consumption, I was told that it was wrong. That was the root of my problem. So I've always defended this plant, and to now see giant expos of this scale of advocates and people coming together to speak the same truth, it warms my heart to know that the future of this plant, the future of our culture, is the opposite of what Prohibition has given us. I have been welcomed back into my community because of cannabis. I wish for the people watching this that aren't on board fully with calling it cannabis and being part of THC, and look into the entourage effect, look into the stories, the first-hand experience of thousands of people now that are stepping in front of the camera, being brave enough to speak their truth, because it's that wave of information that is causing the tide change. You're starting to see politicians of all class and creed now starting to come out. I now want to see the common man do the same. Don't wait for the press to tell you it's fine to consume it. Talk to your kids who are already doing it. Talk to your neighbours who are already growing it. You know what I mean? If you consume it, be brave enough to talk to your family. Come out, be proud. We could learn so much from the LGBT community, from what they went through with actually having to stand against oppression. And the best thing that they ever did was stand proud and go, yes, I identify as part of this community. I am proud to be part of this community. And that's the one thing that I wish anybody that advocates for cannabis or knows anybody that benefits from cannabis to do. Be brave enough to not regurgitate lies and bullshit, frankly. Speak the truth. The gateway drug theory is often proliferated by people that don't even know what the theory suggests. So if we then look at what the model of the gateway theory is, that something you take then inevitably leads you to take other things. I often call it the exposure theory, and this is because of the illegal market. If you go to a drug dealer that sells everything, a spectrum of substances, cannabis, amphetamines, MDMA, heroin, crack, you turn up and knock on his door and go, can I have some cannabis please? I haven't got any cannabis, I do have some amphetamine, I do have some MDMA. The person that's then buying this, because they've been taught the lie that all drugs are bad and will kill you, they've tried the cannabis and that wasn't bad. So then all of a sudden they're going, well wait a minute, let's try the other substances, and they've got the opportunity to buy them. If cannabis was regulated and sold in cannabis shops or even in supermarkets and pharmacists and herbologists and other shops, it would only be sold by itself. It would be given with the base information and education. The assistant that sells you the product would be able to give you best dosage, would be able to actually tell you about it. The current CBD market means in the UK it's illegal to give dosage information because of the paradigm of pharmaceutical versus public consumption. It's a very difficult situation we're under at the minute with that. The industry right now, I think, is where, without sounding too cliched, where it thinks it needs to be. Ultimately, I think from the activist point of view, from the advocate and the general consumer, I think we need a more open market. Obviously, we're still trying to figure out regulation, compliance, and what the actual market looks like, but I believe that we should almost open the gates and then close it again, rather than inking it out and letting it drip by drip, because it's allowing certain groups of people to massively monopolize on the industry and effectively shut that gate in the face of people that fought to get the industry. So it's more of a normalizer, I would say. People that previously would have seen me smoking, would have seen me advocating its consumption, would go, whoa, the first thing they'll say to me is CBD. So it allows that conversation to happen. So I listen to them say what they already know, what they've learned from the media, from their own experience, from people they've met in their community, and then I can give them more information, sometimes too much information, but help further push them down that road. And I've been putting up event posters for our upcoming expo next month, and we only had 2 hydro shops and 2 vape shops out of maybe 50 shops around the entire Northeast refuse to put up our posters. The change in mindset is occurring massively, and it's happening because of the normalization of hemp and CBD. My only fear is that there's a demonization, a polarization that comes from CBD here, THC here, cannabis here, hemp here. And what my event and what my ethos and my club and my vision is to bring us all together. We're all cannabis sativa L. We are all the same plant. We're all fighting for the same thing, just in different ways. And by unifying, many hands make light work.